A very good afternoon to you. Thanks for joining us on NTA Nationwide. My name is Phil Obano. Senate President Bukola Saraki is reassuring Nigerians that, contrary to insinuations in some quarters, the relationship between the executive and legislature is not only cordial, but waxing stronger for sustainable growth and development of the country. This was while answering questions from newsmen after an audience with President Buhari. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the president also granted audience to the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara. Details of this will come subsequently. The Nigerian judiciary has promised to accord more attention to the nation's lower courts in view of their proximity to the populace. This promise came from the Chief Justice of Nigeria in a message to the opening of a workshop for judges of area, Sharia and customary courts in Nigeria. Femi Okeowo reports.
In the line of their frequency, area or Sharia courts and customary courts do not handle most high-profile political and financial matters that catch the interest of most Nigerians. But these are the courts that handle family or community matters, and statistics have it that the greater percentage of litigations pass through these courts. Yet not much attention is paid to their welfare and infrastructural base. All these, the Chief Justice of Nigeria says, must change.
Concerted efforts have been made to put in place new laws, practices, and strategies with the aim of surmounting these challenges and speeding up judicial processes in our courts.
This workshop, with the theme Enhancing Administration of Justice in the Lower Courts, is already part of the change being envisaged by the nation's judiciary.
As an officer in the Temple of Justice, you are being watched by the larger society, and your actions and inactions must conform to the societal expectations.
Joined in the training of judges of area, Sharia, and customary courts are the directors and inspectors of these courts. In Abuja, Femi Okeowo, NTA News.
And experts on Good Morning Nigeria today said the absence of a legal framework to clearly spell out management of recovered loot and assets has led to uncoordinated efforts by different agencies. They suggested that the bill seeking to resolve the issue be given adequate attention by the National Assembly. Lydia Sampson has the report.
Nigeria has signed and ratified the UN Anti-Corruption Convention. The bill to domesticate a similar coordinated legal framework is yet to be in place after it was not assented to by the President when the 7th Assembly passed the bill. This, the guest on Good Morning Nigeria say, is a setback to handling recovered loot.
Nigeria, as a sovereign nation, as a sovereign state and a member of United Nations Convention Against Corruption, and indeed a member of the Financial Action Task Force, do not have coordinated recovered asset management agency in place.
That the philosophy behind asset recovery is to take the benefit away from criminals so that they are not empowered to continue with what they are doing. Not only that, is also to take away negative role models.
Chief Whip of the House of Representatives, Alassane Adodogwa, while reiterating the commitment of the National Assembly to facilitate proper utilization of recovered loot, he stressed the need for all efforts to have legal legislative backing.
We need to take very good time so that at the end of the day we harmonize all these components, all these other things coming in either from the executive arm of government or coming in from the private member perspective, so that at the end of the day we don't come up with a law that will be conflicting.
Beyond the law comes morality. Sometimes you want to do things to lay the right principle, to lay the right procedure, to lay the right example.
The guests were of the opinion that transparent handling of recovered loot is necessary to earn the confidence of the public. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
And away from legal matters, the first technology expo in Nigeria opened in Abuja Monday with an exhibition of scientific and technological innovations, inventors, and research findings. Minister of Science and Technology Dr. Bonaya Onu noted that the expo is a new window of opportunities that can catapult Nigeria to a higher level of technological advancement. Science correspondent Kirian Umayo reports.
Speakers at the opening ceremony dwelt on the urgent need for Nigeria to move science, technology and innovation to advanced level. Nigeria, they say, cannot continue to rely on foreign technology, as no nation has ever become great without developing indigenous technology to drive other sectors of the economy.
A ministry that will also look at the basic things that our people do every day and seek to reproduce them.
Any nation that desires true development and a better life for its citizenry must put science and technology in the front burner.
I am convinced that under the leadership and guidance of the present Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, science and technology sector is in a new era.
Minister, the result and the outcome of your research and development will go a long way in ensuring a re-engineered technological growth of this nation.
Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Bonaya Onu, summed up the opening ceremony by urging investors to establish a working relationship with investors and innovators for possible commercialization of the nation's research findings.
I am happy that the seed we are sowing at this landmark event holds the promise of growing into a big tree that will help shape the future of our dear country, Nigeria.
The 5-day Technology Expo is showcasing the best from Nigerian scientists, technologists and innovators. Kirian Umayo, NTA News.
Following the non-compliance by states and local governments on the enforcement of the ban on the collection of levies and taxes on agricultural produce and agro-allied products on highways, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture has constituted a committee to ensure strict compliance with the directive. The Minister of Agriculture expressed optimism that the move will address inflation and high cost of food items in the country. Musa Baba Aliu has the details.
Issues of multiple levies and taxes on agricultural produce have become a source of concern to farmers and marketers of agricultural produce in recent times. The government observed that non-compliance by relevant state agencies and local government authorities who enforce multiple levies and unauthorized checkpoints on transportation of agricultural produce in the country is a major factor responsible for the high cost of food items. The federal government in 2011 had placed a ban on multiple levies and taxes hitherto collected by states and local government councils, but till date is not enforced.
We also find that transporters of food items are complaining bitterly about checkpoints by local government tax officials, sometimes police checkpoints, sometimes other security agencies, demanding money from them for every truck load of food they carry. All these add to the cost.
To this end, the committee constituted by the Minister of Agriculture is saddled with the responsibility of determining modalities to ensure enforcement of the ban on collection of levies and taxes on agricultural produce by state and local government authorities.
And I hope with the sensitization that we'll do, people too will be aware that when they get to this point and we have a policy put in place that will restrict other agencies from collecting this multi-tax money from our people, because it eats into what we buy in the market.
Officials of the Ministry of Agriculture, Nigerian Police and Civil Defense are members of the committee. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliu, NTA News.
Lagos is our first port of call on nationwide, and Ademola is standing by to fill us in on reports from that axis. Hello, Ademola. It's over to you.
Thank you, Phil. Good afternoon and a warm welcome to Lagos. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has arraigned a former permanent secretary in the Ministry of Labor, Dr. Clement Ilo. He was arraigned today at the Federal High Court before Justice Babs Kuwumi. Viera Chiwaba, who was at the Federal High Court, now reports.
The former permanent secretary at the Ministry of Labour, Dr. Clement Ilu, was arraigned on 3-count charge bordering on failure to declare his full assets. Dr. Ilu had on the 16th of April failed to disclose the sum of more than 90 million naira in his first bank account. He was also alleged to have kept more than $130,000 and £10,000 also in his first bank account. EFCC prosecutor Rotimi Oyedapo said the offences are contrary to Section 23 of the Financial Crimes Commission Act. When the charges were read and plea taken, he pleaded not guilty. Counsel to Dr. Ilu, Tom Awana, pleaded with the court to admit his client to bail on liberal terms because of his health condition. Justice Bart Kouemino, in his ruling, admitted the former permanent secretary to bail in the sum of 50 million naira, with one surety in like sum. The surety must be a landed property owner within the jurisdiction of the court, with evidence of 3 years tax payment. Justice Kouemino also ordered that the surety must submit his international passport with a deputy court registrar. He also ordered that the defendant be remanded in the EFCC custody pending the perfection of his bail terms. Trial begins on the 8th of May. In Lagos, Viera Chumuba, NTA News.
All is now set for the celebration of Africa's biggest arts and culture festival, Festac 77, come May 2017. The Director General of the Center for Black and African Arts and Civilization, Dr. Ferdinand Anikwe, said that the literary arts sector is prepared to sell the rich cultural heritage to the world. He said this during his visit to NTA Lagos Network Center.
The celebration of Festac 77 at 40, according to the Director General of the Center for Black African Arts and Civilization, is apt, as this will provide a platform for Nigerian artists to exhibit their creative talents to the world. The Director General also disclosed plans to work with the various literary artists in the country in making the festival a successful one.
We are ready, but we're also calling on both the state and federal government to come up in full scale for the support. We're expecting, most importantly, corporate groups, private organizations, and very interesting individuals to come up and support us.
The festival will feature visual arts such as film shows, drama, poetry, music, dance, art exhibitions, fashion show, among other forms of art.
So we have added other things like palm wine festival, tapioca festival. The traditional food of Africans are going to be displayed in a grand style so that people from other countries all over the world will come.
Pritio Kafo is the president of the Performing Musician Association of Nigeria. He says the music body is ready to work with CBAC in building a strong synergy for the promotion of the diverse cultures of the country.
We're covering the art, we're covering the fashion designers, we're covering the dancers, we're covering the musicians, we're covering the literary industry, we're covering the visual artists to coordinate the whole of us, to showcase what we've been doing, to showcase our talent to all the African countries and the rest of the world.
The celebration of Festac 77 at 40 will kick off at the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, in May 2017, with several stages across the country.
The Federal Ministry of Works has been called upon to quickly repair a section of the Ekpori Bridge that has caved in order to avert any form of road mishap or accident. Abolade Salami, who visited the bridge to ascertain the level of damage, reports that the bad spot on the bridge usually causes gridlock during the early hours of the week.
Constructed over 4 decades ago with a length of about 3.45 kilometers, Eko Bridge, as it is usually called, begins from the Ijora end of the mainland and terminates at Apongmo area of Lagos Island. The bridge serves dual purposes for vehicles coming from mainland en route Alaka through Ikmori to either Lagos Island, Apapa or Ijora Badia. While the bridge may still be serving its purpose though, it was discovered that a section of the bridge at the Ikmori end now poses a risk to vehicles plying that route, as the bad spot on the bridge is begging for attention.
That part of the road is not okay at all, and I would like to advise the authorities to fix it.
before the unexpected happens. I think you have seen it already. The road is spoiled already, so let them go and do it before it's more than that.
In order to douse the apprehension of road users, officials of the Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA, Lagos East, say repair work will commence soon.
Sometimes it could be the rubber that is covering it to allow for smooth ride that may wear out. Depending on the condition, then it will be attended to. So it doesn't pose any danger for motorists, but we are conscious of it, and we also have intention of rectifying it.
This particular portion on the Quarry Bridge has become a source of concern to motorists coming from the mainland into the island. They are calling on concerned authorities to fix this portion that is almost caving in before the unexpected happens. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
Well, that does it from Lagos. It's back to you, Phil, for more on Nationwide.
Thank you very much, Demola. And back here, the issue of skills for girls for life was the focus of a one-day sensitization workshop organized by Development Research and Project Center to connect craft with entrepreneurial education in Kano. The workshop seeks to build the capacity of government officials to support schoolgirls in acquiring vocational skills to enable them take care of lifelong challenges. Hadiza Muhammad Ali reports.
Presenting a true picture of the country, Professor Bala Ofarmata of the Bayero University Kano estimates that in a study, about 10.5 million children are out of schools, most of them girls. The university don, who noted that considerable number of girls have completed secondary schools, however, said the interactive forum was convened to address the plight of out-of-school girls due to their social and economic circumstances.
Our center is collaborating, with governments, with institutions, a number of agencies to make this, to become achievable.
In another presentation, Dr. Olakunle Akinshola of Nigeria Educational Research and Development Council regretted that out of 34 trades and entrepreneurial curricula, all of them are deficient in entrepreneurial content.
We have identified them. We have started the process of review because we need to review the existing trade subjects so as to infuse these observed gaps so that we can bridge the gap created.
The Director of Child Development in the Kano State Ministry of Women Affairs says government is looking for ways to empower the girl child to not only take care of their responsibilities, but become independent as well as employ others in the future. One of the papers that engaged the attention of the participants include how government programs, donor agencies, and private enterprises can support young girls to access credit, market, training, and business skills.
The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has allayed the fear of applicants, assuring every prospective candidate of registration before the expiration of the registration period on the 19th of this month. Speaking on the difficulties the applicants go through and the extortion at registration centers, the registrar, Professor Ishak Oloyede, said there are 4 outlets designated for the registration. He also spoke on the official fees.
5,000 to JAMB, 500 for the book, and that's all. But for the center where you register, the center owners will get a maximum of 700 naira. If you have problem with going to bank, why can't you go to NIPOST? Why can't you go online to InterSwitch? Why don't you go on Remitter? You can get these things online. And whether you go to the bank or you go to NIPOST or you go to anywhere you go to buy the pin, it is part of their responsibility to create the profile for the student. Every eligible candidate will be registered before the end of the exercise.
Abdullahi Musa Suleja reports that the registrar said applicants should stop panic registration because there is no cause for any tension, as at Saturday alone, 83,000 were registered. And now for an update on JAMB registration in Kaduna State, let's join Suleiman in a Kaduna Network Center. Hello.
Thank you very much, Phil, and welcome to Kaduna.
As the unified tertiary matriculation registration began, prospective candidates for the 2017 examination in Kaduna have decried the poor internet connectivity at the various computer-based test centers, which makes it difficult for them to get registered. The report. Prospective candidates from various schools in Kaduna converged on computer-based test centers for the registration of the 2017 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination. Like the previous years since the introduction of the computer-based registration, this year's registration exercise is not without the usual challenges. Students interviewed at this center and, of course, some other centers have complained the lack of strong internet connectivity to be able to finish their registration within the very shortest possible time.
Maybe it's their network, since I've been no less than 1 hour here.
You have to go to the bank, people there and everything. It's very, very stressful.
I think they should give it back to the cafe. The cafe should continue the registration.
It's very, very hard. It's not like before.
Some coordinators at the CBTs visited attributed the challenge to impatience by most of the students and overloading on the router provided by the JAMB to connect to its portal to ease the registration procedure and difficulties being faced.
Like last night, we registered about 200 candidates using the templates. And this morning, we have sent text messages to them, bulk SMS to them to come for thumb printing. But there are some of them, we have spoken to them to drop their templates and go and expect our SMS, but they wouldn't want to go.
Though the officials of the State JAMB office declined comment on the complaints advanced, NTA News observed that unless stronger internet connectivity is provided at the various registration centers, the deadline for the completion of the registration by the 19th of this month may be difficult to achieve. The Air Officer Commanding Training Command of the Nigerian Air Force Kaduna, Air Vice Marshal Christopher Emeka Okoye, has tasked airmen and women of the Air Force to be law-abiding in their dealings with the civil populace. He stated this at the Young Officers Course 8 of 2017 at the Nigerian Air Force Base, Kaduna. Ahmad Muhammad Usman has the details.
Certificate of Young Officers Course of Ground Training Center of Nigerian Air Force. Congratulations.
That was the Commandant Group Training Center of the Nigerian Air Force Base, Kaduna, addressing the 28 graduates of the Young Officers Course 8 who were carefully selected from various formations of the Nigerian Air Force and attended the 3-month course. The Commandant commented on the relevance of the course.
You are trained the ethics and the values of the Nigerian Air Force and how to operate in IS operations within humanitarian law. So every aspect that will equip them to operate as junior commanders in the tactical operations is being taught for them in this YOC.
Among the 28 young officers that graduated from the 3-month course, 6 of them are female. Highlights of the event were presentations of certificates and awards to some of them with outstanding performance. In Kaduna, Hamad Muhammad Usman, NTA News.
Meanwhile, participants of Senior Course Exercise Husky View 2017 have been challenged to consider the use of soft power as an effective tool in tackling conflicts. The Commandant, Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji, Air Vice Marshal Abubakar Suleiman Dambo stated this while declaring the exercise open at Jaji, Kaduna. Hassan Lol Shatima reports.
The 3-week course is targeted to provide a platform for cross-fertilization of ideas and seamless cooperation and collaboration among security agencies and other relevant stakeholders in mitigating conflicts in a society like ours. The 146,000 participants from some agencies, including armed forces, paramilitary organizations, among others, are to grab in mind within the period on how best to tackle low-intensity conflicts that do occur. The Commandant, Air Vice Marshal Suleiman Abubakar Dambo, said series of lectures, presentations, scenario-based and outdoor exercises have been programmed for participants to meet the realities of current and emerging trends in the general security environment.
Role aim is to foster cohesion and coordination and standardized procedures in internal security and counter-insurgency operations in the country.
Some participants interviewed bear their mind.
It is a very good exercise because it is going to enhance our leadership qualities, and when we go back to our agencies, we are going to impact it to the other personnel in our quest to bring national security.
We need to synergize
in order to check the security challenges we are facing, especially in the nation Nigeria these days.
At the end of the exercise course, participants are expected to be fully aware on how to deal with conflicts and overcome some security challenges like terrorism. Kaduna, I am Hassan Shattima, NTA News.
And with that report is back to you, Phil, for more on the nationwide. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Suleiman in Kaduna. And now we begin by revisiting an earlier story where we told you that Senate President Bukola Saraki is reassuring Nigerians that contrary to insinuations in some quarters, the relationship between the executive and legislature is not only cordial, but waxing stronger for sustainable growth and development of the country. This was while answering questions from newsmen after an audience with President Buhari. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the president also granted audience to the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara.
The Senate President Bukola Saraki, who arrived at the State House at about noon Monday afternoon, met President Muhammadu Buhari for about 45 minutes behind closed doors. Addressing newsmen shortly after, Senator Saraki described his interaction with the Nigerian leader as routine, frank and fruitful.
Talked also about the INEC bill that we've passed. I took the president to some of the areas, very, very important areas, because you know the president over many years has been somebody who has gone to many elections and seen. So that was something that I was very excited about. Some of the new amendments that brings in electronic voting, talks about electronic process for collation, and these are landmark achievements that we hope that very soon the House will concur and we'll all come here one day for president to assent.
Reacting to insinuation in some quarters about the unhealthy relationship between the executive and the National Assembly, Senator Saraki described it as a figment of the people's imagination, saying the two arms of government are working harmoniously to make Nigeria better.
Work is going on. We'll continue to go for the interests of Nigeria. Don't let us get distracted by one or two infractions. It's bound to happen. I mean, even the America that we're copying, even today as you're watching, see what's happening on the Supreme Court. This is things that happen in the part of democracy. But I can reassure Nigerians, the people, that is it's just a drop in the ocean. It is not an issue that will stay the whole place. Be rest assured.
So Nigerians want to know, is the relationship between the executive and the legislature very cordial?
It's cordial. You cannot examine it based on NDDC or examine it based on EFCC or we have other issues. We have, as I said, we have ministerials that we're going to be working on. I'm sure the NEC will soon work on. We have the budget that is more important. We have NEC, we have PIB. We have so many things, and I think it's a mixture of all that should guide us. And don't let us overheat on some of these issues because they're bound to happen.
The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara, who also interacted with the president separately, spoke in the same vein, saying minor disagreements are normal in a democracy for good governance and effective service delivery.
I've always said this, that as a government, our value will be in the problems that we solve. We can't be remembered for avoiding issues. We can't be remembered for running away from problems. It is only when we provide solutions to some of the things that you look at it as crisis, and some of us are looking at it as opportunity to begin anew, that people will now remember us as having put in place enduring legacies. But when we run away from trouble, run away from everything that appears to be disagreement, we'll not make it.
The presiding officers of the National Assembly were accompanied to the State House by the Senior Special Assistants to the President on National Assembly matters, Senator Ita Enang and Kao Sumaila. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
The emergency response measures put in place on the Abuja-Kaduna highway was put to test this afternoon when a tanker carrying 33,000 litres of diesel skidded and completely blocked one side of the road and half of the other. Kunle Adeyeye has the report. Apologies there. We seem to have an audio challenge with that report. You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Time now to pause for some messages. Nationwide will be back shortly. Stay with us.
From what we have seen, we have the capacity which we can rapidly develop or feed in ourselves. If we don't import rice, we stop importing corn and other grains, Nigeria will have plenty of money to invest into developing industries, especially manufacturing, textiles and so on, and develop iron and steel, and complement the infrastructure development. So really, the opportunities are virtually limitless, and we are very, very aware of this, and we are prepared to exploit it to the fullest.
Readiness to contain emergency situations in Nigeria and addressing eventualities. This is the focus this week on Tuesday Live, as analysts x-ray best practices to emergency response. NTA Tuesday Live, incisive, educative, and informative. Don't miss it.
Years back, this road, traffic jam every time. After the roundabout, things are easy for us, we drivers.
We can fly the road now easily, unlike before. Naturally, hold up will occur, but it's not as bad as it used to be before.
This is a rescue mission project. Invest in Imo. The Imo Rescue Mission. Imo must be better.
People lose their jobs every day. For this,
my friend, where's my change?
And this,
where is the food I say you buy?
And this.
As I told you now, middle of express now they so.
They lose precious opportunities in life simply because they go after small extra stipends.
You know, say now where person they work, then they chop.
Oh yes, but chop only what is rightfully yours. Or don't you agree?
The line on my line, I like. Commander of the Lion Forces.
Join us for Walk Chop, another hilarious episode of your rib-cracking comedy, Professor John Boone.
Showing at 8:30 p.m. every Tuesday and Friday on NTA Network International and Star Times. Shama! Shosa! 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 Shosa!
Over and out.
Brought to you by Glow.
Welcome to the new speed of life. Do you crave class? Do you have taste? And do you care about comforts? If you do, then for your next event, a stay away from home, a business trip, or a holiday, visit Jade's Hotel at 24 Undola Crescent, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja. Check out our world-class services, exquisite suites, restaurant and bar, gymnasium, spa, and grills, and our outdoor catering services and cuisines. At Jade's, it can only be better. For bookings and reservations, visit us today at 24 Undola Crescent, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja, or visit www.jadeshotels.com. Our email address is info@jadeshotels.com. You can also call us on 09291-9321 or 0810-909-7956. Jade's Hotels. Welcome to life.
This is television reborn. Enjoy more than 200 channels. No decoder needed. The real digital TV is here. Star Times Digital TVs.
With Star Times, you're always a step higher. Step into premium experience. Say goodbye to boredom with all the trending Hollywood series on Star Times Series E1 and Fox. With E! Entertainment, keep up with Hollywood celebrities' hot gossip. With National Geographic Channel and National Geographic Wild, bring to life your imagination with beauty beyond words. It's baby TV time all day for your toddlers with the best edutainment. Enjoy your favorite Indian shows in 8 different languages on StarTimes Bollywood. Football Made in Germany is back live on the Bundesliga, only on StarTimes World Football HD. Get StarTimes satellite TV, including 1-month super bouquet. Access now for these in your favorite local channels. StarTime. Enjoy digital life.
It's good to know you are still tuned to Nationwide on NTA. The federal government has urged parents and guardians to monitor activities of their children and wards in order to prevent them from being recruited by the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, ISIS, which has now resorted to targeting vulnerable individuals, including foreign students, using financial inducements to recruit them into the terrorist organization. In a statement issued in Abuja on Monday, the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, cited the recent recruitment into ISIS of 27 medical students of the University of Medical Sciences and Technology, UMST, in Sudan, as an example of the new strategy being used by the organization to recruit more members. Alhaji Mohammed therefore appealed to Nigerians, especially those who have children and wards in foreign academic institutions, to pay more attention to their activities, while urging schools across the country to enlighten their students on the new ISIS recruitment strategy. Babajide Olowo-Odola Foundation, through awareness campaigns, is blazing the trail to break the social and cultural ignorance that has kept thousands of people in bondage about sickle cell disorder. Deborah Micah reports that Reverend Babajide Olowo-Odola, who is the founder of the NGO, is emphasizing that pupils from primary school level should know their genotype and its importance.
The art exhibition, the foundation enlightens the public on sickle cell disorder, which has a devastating effect if modern trends of managing the disease are not undertaken. Founder of Babajide Olowo-Odola Foundation, Reverend Babajide Olowo-Odola, the senior pastor of Foursquare Gospel Church Asokoro, described sickle cell as a chronic condition resulting from the inheritance of hemoglobin S from both parents, and stressed that those with the disorder are encouraged to maintain a reproductive health plan.
The appeal we are making is for government to take a more proactive step to stem the scourge and the spread of the sickle cell disease.
Parents losing their children very early, they don't know the cause. They talk about ogbanje and witchcraft and all that. So early diagnosis is not made.
It is estimated that 25% of Nigerians are suffering from the disorder. The foundation disclosed modern trends on how to manage the disease, which include bone marrow transplants.
It's really, really important to have a support care, to have a support center where you can come in and where you can exchange experiences.
The government needs to improve healthcare delivery system, healthcare information. They need to make it a must for people to know their genotype and to take it seriously.
The event featured voluntary blood donation in Abuja. Deborah Micah, NTA News.
And more empowerment come the way of women in Port Harcourt. Let's get details from Furu in that center. Good afternoon, Furu. You are on.
Phil, good to see you. You're welcome to Port Harcourt. The Rivers State Governor, Nyesom Wike, has renamed the Rivers State University of Science and Technology to Rivers State University. The governor made the pronouncement at the institution's 29th convocation ceremony in Port Harcourt. Ugedi Nyankwere completes the story.
Governor Wike reminded the graduates that the convocation is the beginning of another phase of life and enjoined them to redouble their efforts for greater achievements and use the education acquired to impact on their environment positively. The governor, however, expressed disappointment with quality and scope of some ongoing work, pointing out that it is not commensurate with the funds released to the management of the institution. He warned that the ongoing faculty building under construction should not be commissioned until standards are remedied.
I released the sum of 500 million naira to the university. I must say, I'm not satisfied with the quality of job done with money. I went to the Faculty of Environmental Sciences and the Faculty of Management Sciences, where those contractors are coming from. I will not accept that kind of job. So I'm directing the representative of the Pro-Chancellor and the Vice-Chancellor of this university to make sure that those faculties will not be commissioned until appropriate job is done there.
Governor Wike also directed the Commissioner of Education to interface with the institution's management to work out modalities for recruitment into critical areas where manpower is needed. In Port Harcourt, Oge Dinyekwe, NTA News.
Women have been advised to always demand for their rights in every field of endeavor and see themselves as national leaders with great potentials and skills that can make them stand out in the environment. The advice was given at an empowerment forum, which was organized by a partnership initiative in Niger Delta in Bayelsa to encourage women to take up leadership positions and involve in conflict resolutions. Vivian Ezaidife reports.
The forum draws participants from the 9 states in the Niger Delta region with the sole aim of encouraging women to be bold for change in community leadership and peace building in their various environments. The organizers of the event, Partnership Initiative in the Niger Delta, and other stakeholders in Bayelsa State noted that the forum is a platform where women can interact, network, support, and chart their cause forward.
If you want a society to progress, if you want people to develop properly, if you want your children to go to school and learn well, then you must allow the women to do what they know how to do.
I believe that women are built to be the prop of society. God blessed us with such beautiful assets.
While presenting their papers on women to be bold for change in community leadership and peace building, the women identified some of the challenges militating against women to include culture, politics, religion, among others, urged women to keep trying until they get it right.
We have the same capacity and the same potentials, and a lot of times because of that natural gifting of being able to nurture, we know how to nurture things from wrong to right.
From Yanagua in Bayelsa State, Vivian Ezadifi, NTA News.
Akwa Ibom State government has pledged to remain committed to the welfare of families of fallen heroes in appreciation of their roles in defending the territorial integrity of Nigeria. Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Welfare, Dr. Glory Edens, gave the assurance while distributing empowerment materials to the widows of fallen heroes. Utibe Achibon has the report.
The mood of widows of the fallen heroes was that of excitement. The Commissioner, Dr. Glory Edith, while commending government's efforts at ensuring that the widows are well cared for, urged them to remain focused on their set goals and make effective use of every opportunity in their lives.
It is only a leader who fears God that can take care of the Nigerian Legion and the widows. Because if you don't fear God, you cannot consider the widow in anything.
High point of the event was presentation of empowerment packages to the widows. Some beneficiaries, including the president of the Armed Forces Widows Association, Mrs. Paulina Umoren, in their goodwill messages expressed their gratitude for the gesture.
So that love you have on us, may the Almighty God reward him 100-fold over it. This money he gives to us will help us to take care of ourselves a little and our children. So we say, may God bless him.
The empowerment program covered widows and some members of the Nigerian Legion in the 31 local government areas of the state. In Uyo, Utibe Achibon, NTA News.
Well, that's our package from Port Harcourt. Phil, it's back to you. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Furo. Movement for Greater Anambra State says it is committed to the enthronement of a responsive government whose principles will be for the common good. Chinyere Fesi Okoye has the details.
Describing political education among the electorate as key in the choice of right candidates for the gubernatorial seats and other elective positions, speakers at the rally said the group embarked on leadership hunts to identify outstanding leaders with track record of life of service to humanity. They identified an industrialist, Mr. Godwin Ezemo, as a right candidate.
By totally, we will institutionalize the culture of good governance and leadership development at all levels of the state. The task of the national state and the state council is one that Congress takes very seriously.
Our policy is all about people. We have no other alternative than to listen to the devil we know, having seen him, having known him, having believed in his conviction, having believed in his resilience. We decided I will support him.
Mr. Ezemo expressed appreciation at the recognition, assuring that he can never relent in his life of philanthropy, no matter the position he holds.
We need a leadership that is sincere, a leadership that has got love, a leadership that is firm, a leadership that will be very fair, and a leadership that will not discriminate against anybody.
The group said it will use its over 50,000 members across all local government areas and political wards of the state to advance.
It's time now to take another break. The news continues shortly.
From what we have seen, we have the capacity which we can rapidly develop or feed in ourselves. If we don't import rice, we stop importing corn and other grains, Nigeria will have plenty of money to invest into developing industries, especially manufacturing, textiles and so on, and develop iron and steel, and complement the infrastructure development. So really, the opportunities are virtually limitless, and we are very, very aware of this, and we are prepared to exploit it to the fullest.
And more news now as we go over to our Makurdi Center, where we are told that the Benue State government is soliciting support of United Nations to tackle organized crime. Pam is our guide. It's over to you, Pam. Apologies, we seem to be having some problems with that center. Peace negotiations for Mali crisis and Colombia rebels offer to rebuild destroyed areas. We have details of these and more on Global Tidbits, and Talatu Ezirike is our guide.
The government of Mali has been advised to open talks with rebels in the northern part of the country. This follows recommendations of delegates at the conference organized to help national reconciliation and implement a peace deal agreed in 2015. Similarly, Kenya's police boss has ordered an investigation into alleged police assault of a young man who died that has gone viral on the social media. An act condemned by human rights groups calling for an independent investigation. Also, Russian media reports that at least 10 people have been killed in an explosion at underground station in St. Petersburg. From Colombia, FARC rebel group has offered to rebuild a town devastated by landslides that killed at least 254 people, and fight erupt over Ecuador's presidential elections after early results indicate a victory for the incumbent party's candidate. Opposition supporters took to the streets, demanding for a recount of the votes. That is all on Global Tidbits. Talati Ezerike, NTA News.
Capital Territory Administration has held its first monthly jogging exercise for staff tagged Jogging for Fitness in Abuja. Mitari Ikpe, who covered the exercise, now reports.
The fitness walk, led by the Permanent Secretary FCTA Babatokpe Ajakaye, commenced from the old parade ground through adjoining streets and back for some aerobic exercises. The Permanent Secretary described the exercise as a deliberate policy to enhance the well-being and productivity of FCTA staff.
It is the aim of the Honourable Minister that every staff member of the FCT should join in this exercise once every month, so it is a way of motivating the staff to live well. The purpose is living well, living healthy, and making sure that staff members are able to be more productive.
You keep fit and diseases do not find their ways into your body. The more you are fit, the more you can think well and work well.
Sport is very good for mental alertness.
And at the area council level, we are committed to making sure that programs of the FCT are sustained.
The staff were encouraged to imbibe physical exercise as a daily routine ahead of the monthly fitness walk, which the FCTA says will be sustained. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikwen, NTA News.
And still on sports, 4 handball club sides to represent Nigeria in the African Cup Winners' Cup in Morocco as Roger Federer goes on break until French Open in May. Dende Sani is our guide on sports updates.
Kano Pillars, Niger United, Edo Dynamos and Kada Queens of Kaduna are to represent Nigeria at the African Cup Winners' Cup in Agadir, Morocco from April 12 to 23rd, having booked their spots at the first Governor Samuel Otom National Handball Open Championship in Makurdi, Benue State. However, more players have been discovered from the championship.
Discovering good talent here, which we can put together at the national level to nurture them to make Nigeria proud in international competition.
It was mixed fortunes for Nigerian footballers abroad, as a handful of them were on the score sheet for their clubs. National team captain John Obi Mikel led the pack as he scored his first Chinese League goal for Tianjin Teda and the victory over Chongqing Lifan. Also, Belgium-based Simon Moses got a brace for Ghent as they defeated Club Brugge by 2-1. In the English Premier League, 20-year-old Wilfred Ndidi scored one of the best goals over the weekend to help Leicester City defeat Stoke City by 2-0.
Ndidi now. Really good effort.
Following a 6-3, 6-4 Miami Open triumph over arch-rival Rafael Nadal, 35-year-old Roger Federer has decided to take a break for 2 months ahead of the 2017 French Open, which serves off on the 28th of May. Roger Federer, who sat out the second half of 2016 to recover from a knee injury, has now won 3 titles so far in 2017. With Sport Update, Dende Sani, NTA News.
Before we go, a reminder that you can watch all our stories and much more when you log on to our website, www.nta.ng. And that's nationwide. We thank you for watching, and we enjoin you to ensure that you watch all our other major news bulletins for today at 6, 7, 9, and 11. Good afternoon.